There is a particular kind of silence that only comes with deep winter. It's not peaceful, it's heavy. A blanket of snow muffles the world, turning familiar places into isolated frozen stages. And on these stages, the most unsettling acts can play out in whispers. Welcome to Creep Tales Hub. Tonight, we recount 6 true tales where winter's chill was the least frightening thing in the air. Story 1, The Notes Under the Door. This happened to Jared. At 19, living alone in a thin-walled apartment, winter felt like a shrinking of his world. His only interaction was a nod to his neighbor across the hall, a woman whose smile never seemed to warm her eyes. Everything changed after he lent her a trash bag. She began appearing whenever he did, noting his routine, commenting on small details. Then, the notes started appearing, slipped silently under his door. I hope today treats you well. I like hearing your music through the wall. The final one read, I hope you're making the right choices. The terror was in the quiet, obsessive study. By the time she was evicted, a permanent chill had settled in Jared's bones, one he feels every January. Story 2, The Watcher, in the woods. Years ago, a young woman was snowed in alone at a remote house. During a furious storm, she heard it. Not the wind, but the deliberate crunch of boots circling the house. No car had arrived, no lights shone, just footsteps in the blinding snow, stopping right beneath her bedroom window. At dawn, she found the proof, a single set of footprints emerging from the deep woods, circling the house, and ending in a packed-down patch under her window. The prints didn't lead away. It was as if the watcher had stood there for hours, and then simply vanished into the cold air. Story 3, The Cabin That Watched Back. Amanda and her fiancé Josh rented a remote mountain cabin for a winter getaway, only to be trapped by a massive snowstorm. Their adventure turned to dread when they found footprints that weren't theirs, moved firewood, and heard engines that never stopped. A chair on the porch was overturned. Slow, heavy knocks came at the door in the dead of night. They never saw a face, but they felt a constant, menacing presence watching from the white void. They were trapped not just by the snow, but by the unsettling proof that they were not alone. Story 4, The Gas Station Regular. Brandon worked the lonely night shift at a rural gas station. His routine was shattered by a man in a heavy coat who came in every night, buying little but watching everything. He knew Brandon's name, described his car, and noted his habits. One night, during a howling storm, the man leaned over the counter and said, "You usually leave right on time, even during the storms." Shaken, Brandon fled to his car at the end of his shift. There, tucked under his wiper, was a note wishing him a safe drive home. The watchfulness didn't end at the counter. It had followed him into the frozen parking lot. Story 5, The Endless Shift. Emily worked evenings at a Walmart during a brutal February. One snow-heavy day, a man in a dark coat entered. For over 5 hours, he wandered the aisles, never buying anything, always circling back to watch her. He smiled a knowing, hollow smile. As her shift ended and she rushed to her car through the storm, she found a disturbing message written in the snow on her windshield. A crude, drawn face. Looking back, she saw him standing alone in the empty lot, watching her flee. It was a silent, hours-long siege under fluorescent lights. Story 6, The Face at the Window. In a student neighborhood called Partywood, winter brought a different kind of visitor. After roommates reported a peeping Tom, the fear became real. One found a stolen house key missing. Police discovered a stranger's chair positioned under their bedroom window. Then, one frozen night, home alone, he heard the slow crunch of footsteps on frozen ground outside the bathroom. Fingers appeared on the high window ledge, and then a face pressed against the glass, locking eyes with him before disappearing into the dark. He was never caught. Winter distorts reality. It amplifies isolation and turns shadows into spectators. These are the tales that linger, where the true horror wasn't a monster, but the unwavering gaze from the other side of the silence. If these stories held your attention, show your support with a like. It truly helps us grow. Subscribe to Creep Tales Hub and ring the bell for your weekly descent into real-life mysteries. We now turn the channel over to you. Has winter ever concealed something unsettling in your life? Share your own eerie experience in the comments below. Your story might be the one that sends a shiver down someone else's spine. Until next time, remember, when the world goes quiet, that's when you should listen the closest.